What's up, everybody? You're back in here with the Pro Football Pod. You've got Hulk, you've got Coach, you've got Austin, wherever they're at on your screen for you. If you haven't been here with us before, hit that subscribe button down below. We're still doing a giveaway once we hit our first 500 subscribers and every other 500 subscriber benchmark. Free jersey to one of you lucky people. Jersey of your choice. Pick one out of a hat. I don't care. We got what we doing today, boys? Early, very early, first round mock draft, right? That's what we got for the people.
So we're everything that's set in stone. We're not going to mess with the playoff teams until a couple of them get eliminated.
And then, that just makes sense right now. So we're just going with everything that we can actually, bet on. You can put your money on it because these picks are set here. So yeah, we're just going to go ahead and dive right into it. Hit that subscribe. Let's go in. I've got the first pick with the Titans. And the top of this draft is interesting because you've got people like Sam Darnold or JJ McCarthy if the Vikings decide to re-sign Sam and they want to trade off JJ. So there's those options there to where the Titans could bring in a veteran quarterback in free agency.
Kirk Cousins is not, guaranteed to stay with the Falcons.
No, he's not. He's going to get the Russell Wilson treatment where the Falcons pay him to not play for him. However, just in this mock draft, I'm just going to go ahead off the rip, and I'm just going to go with the guy that you're able to get because you have the first pick. And my number one quarterback in this draft, we're going with Cam Ward.
Boom.
And there's some obviously risk with Cam Ward and his play style and stuff like that. But to me, if you have the first pick in a franchise like Tennessee, you have a new stadium coming down the pipe, you need some electricity there. And I don't think Shador and, Dion possibly not coming to Tennessee, but I don't like that whole setup, especially for being the number one pick. I don't think Shador really wants to go to Nashville. So give me Cam Ward at number one. Coach, you're on the clock at number two with Cleveland.
So I think a lot of people are going to be saying that Cleveland should take a quarterback. And I know that there's a big chance that we don't see we know that we're not going to see Deshaun next year because of the Achilles rupture. He's probably not going to play all of 2025, if not most of it. And they're trying to get rid of him at this point anyways. I just think that there's a lot of talent that's still on the board at other positions. They have Denzel Ward, but they really don't have a second corner opposite him. I think a player like Travis Hunter helps them out on offense.
Greg Newsome does not deserve that shade.
It's not that he's nothing, but they definitely have cornerback need. I think also going edge with a player like Abdul Carter. I mean, the man wears number 11 for a reason. He's definitely the best player on Penn State's defense right now.
Mm-hmm.
And also, we've got Will Campbell at tackle. I think that going quarterback right here, just to go quarterback, doesn't make a lot of sense with this quarterback class, especially if you expect to not be great again next year. So I think Travis Hunter is probably one of the best players in this draft. He can play both ways. He's going to be a key player on defense, and then he's also going to be a gadget player that you could use on offense. I think he adds massive value to that team that needs value in not many places, but he adds value in both the places that they could have.
Okay. And I think that's what he needs to do is come into the league as a corner and just play about 15 to 20 snaps on offense.
Exactly.
It's so much easier for you to have packages for him and him understand those packages versus having to run the offense and then switch over to the defensive side. And it's all right, now I need to switch your hips with these NFL wide receivers that you're just really not used to because you don't do it all game.
Exactly. So Austin, the Giants are on the clock. What are you thinking?
Has there been no player that's entered the league like him, going both ways like that?
Dion. Didn't go both ways.
Devin Hester would probably, but he was mostly a return man.
Yeah.
But he did play defense and some offense.
He started as a corner and then he ended his career as a wide
he really
receiver.
is for the most part. For this generation, he's a unicorn.
Yeah.
He's like the Shohei Ohtani of football right now.
Yeah, I feel that.
Because of how effective he is on both sides of the ball. So Austin, you've got the Giants on the clock at 3.
The G-Men, they need a great QB. And, we got to take his brother after Travis. He's going to be Shador. It's the best QB left on the board after Cam. I mean, it's a toss-up. I feel like the media is going to blow up Shador a lot more, to make him number one in a way. It's going to help him out. He has those platforms to just boost him, and everyone sees that. And
well, I think that's why he's at the top right now, because to me, Shador is I would say a second or third round grade on a quarterback. I don't see a first round grade with him. If you're picking on size, he doesn't have the prototypical size. He's kind of smaller. He doesn't really make game breaking electric plays. It's not like he's very mobile with his legs. So, I mean, my thing with Shador is this is compared to last year and going back to 2020, if you need a quarterback, you're really hurting in this draft. Absolutely. So certain guys are going to get pushed up the board just based on need and hype and everything like that. There's no guy with more hype right now than Shador Sanders. So, yeah, I understand the pick at 3, and the Giants have to do something, because if they have another bad season where they're back up here at the top of the draft, it's going to be a different GM and head coach making this pick.
Yeah, I mean, the benefit for the Giants is that if they are up here next year, taking a guy like Shador means that they're stuck with Shador. I think that they're definitely going to take a quarterback so that they can buy themselves some time. But honestly, the smarter pick would be to grab a tackle, grab something to build out your offensive line. I mean, this is such a deep class. You could build offensive line in the first 2 or 3 rounds of this draft and then set yourself up for one of these guys that's coming out next year that is actually a dude.
They can't do that, though.
They can't. They really can't, because they're gonna get fired by week 5 if they lose 4 straight games.
The only player I think aside from a quarterback would be is if Travis Hunter was in that spot, because Travis Hunter brings enough hype to where he can kind of band-aid some stuff for you. No. But Travis Hunter isn't there in this, so Shador at number 3, and we got New England at number 4.
I wouldn't mind the Giants trading back a little bit to grab Dillon, because I think he's a solid QB.
We will do a mock draft to where the Raiders are trading up for Shador or a quarterback, because I believe that's absolutely has potential. But with the Patriots on the clock at number 4, they need absolutely everything. But the number one thing that just stands out to me is their offensive line is just an absolute turnstile. They have their pick of wide receivers, so Ted McMillan would be very intriguing here. Give Drake May just a big body guy to throw it up to and work with.
They definitely need one.
But I go back to that meme to where, you've got a good offensive lineman blocking for a quarterback and he can throw it to anybody. But if you have a terrible offensive lineman and he's trying to throw it to a star like whoever it is, it's not going to happen. So because of that, I'm just going to go ahead and take Will Campbell here off the board. We're just going to give him an absolute franchise left tackle. If you like Joe Alt last year, I feel like Will Campbell's just right underneath where Joe Alt was.
The thing as well is they took 2 wide receivers last year. They have Javon Baker from UCF, and then they took the other guy from Washington that wasn't Romadunze.
Jalen Polk.
Jalen Polk. So I feel like they have a couple of guys that they could, give him a little bit more time to develop. They also have a young quarterback that finally got his chance at the end of the season and looked decent. So building out something to give that quarterback more time or more space to be able to use his legs, I think makes a lot more sense. Now, the Jags are on the clock, and obviously they're going to go quarterback because Trevor Lawrence is – oh, no? Not yet? All right. Well, maybe go defense.
Now.
Yeah, because they just threw $50 million a year at him. They're probably not. So, yeah.
Probably not. So I'm thinking Mason Graham, defensive interior is a massive need for them. Mason Graham, absolutely, Austin's going to love hearing this, is the best interior defensive player in the draft right now. So I think it's an easy pick. It is a little bit crazy to not go Abdul Carter here, but they've already got a couple of young pieces on the outside with Josh Allen.
Yeah, Josh Allen and Travon Walker, for everything that's been said about him going over Aiden Hutchinson, which I will still say, it's wild to me that they took him over Aiden Hutchinson. However, the guy has quietly had a very solid career. He put up double-digit sacks this past season, and he's just getting better every season. So to me, you add Mason Graham to both of those guys, and you're cooking with gas right there on the defensive line. So I love that pick. I love Mason Graham. Austin, you got both of the quarterbacks off the board. The Raiders, they need help everywhere, especially on offense. Where are they going here?
I mean, like you said earlier, they're probably going to be looking to trade up for one of those top two guys. Because I'm not sure where
it hurts a lot in this mock draft too that we don't know a lot of these new GMs and head coaches for these squads. So we have no idea on philosophies or anything right now. I have somebody in mind that's intriguing, but it's a little spicy for how high it is.
Dylan Gabriel kind of shot himself in the foot with that game against Ohio.
I don't think he was going first round regardless.
Really?
Yeah.
I think he was having a phenomenal season. He was looking really solid.
Oh, I'm telling you, the league is not high on this quarterback class. That's why they were begging Drew Aller to have a really solid playoff showing, so that way he could maybe come out, because he said he was coming back to Penn State, but then it was like, oh, if he plays solid enough, he could push himself in the first round conversation. But that didn't happen.
That's exactly how I see him. He could use another year, but he could also come out and just be a backup somewhere. So I really like what I see from Abdul Carter. If we're gonna go edge for
him and Max Crosby with Christian Wilkins.
Insane.
That would be dangerous, bro.
Micah Parsons, bro.
He really does. Like, same number. It's one of those to where whenever because if you notice on the thumbnail, we've got Abdul Carter on there. I don't think you realize how long it took me, because I had to go through, because even in Google Pictures, it was mixed up with Micah Parsons, because they're both number 11. They both have the same body stature, both rock divide, like all of it. And I was just like, man, this is so frustrating. So yeah, it's
everything was Darth Vader. He's got written on his tape.
Yeah. So we're going Abdul Carter here. I like that. Probably I'd say top 2 talent in the draft behind Travis Hunter. So yeah, you can't be mad getting that at 6.
Darth Vader thing. I mean, if there's any place for him to go, it would be the Death Star.
That's
the Raiders.
the marketing possibilities are endless with that. Absolutely. I like where your brain's at there. That's big brain stuff.
Hell yeah, baby.
So we got the Jets on the clock.
I've got the Jets on the clock now at number 7 here. They need a quarterback, but obviously, there's nothing on the board here for them. I really think Mason Graham would have been a really, really intriguing pick for them here at this point.
Hold on. Can you back up for a second? Why do you say they need a quarterback?
Aaron Rodgers isn't coming back.
And Jordan
Travis
he's not playing ever. Like, the reports we keep hearing is that his ankle is going to make it to where he never plays another snap. He's still on the pup list. Still on the pup list for a whole season. So reports are that he's done.
And honestly, I mean, they took him in the 5th round last year. Yeah. So so that's where you can't bank on that. And like I said, unless somebody pushes themselves up the board here, like a Dylan Gabriel, a Jackson Dart, Jalen Milroe's probably going to be a popular pick here. I just don't see it with Jalen Milroe, especially for New York. Like, to me, Jalen Milroe in bad weather games just didn't look like you'd want him to look for a first-round quarterback. So because of that, I'm taking Will Johnson. They're going to lose DJ Reed in the offseason, and you pair Will Johnson with Sauce Gardner, and you probably have 2 top 10 corners right out the gate. Will Johnson is an absolute beast. He's an animal. He's a better corner than Travis Hunter is. Travis Hunter's just playmaking ability on offense is what pushes him up the board higher. Will Johnson to the Jets right here to pair with Sauce would be just chef's kiss for their defense.
Yeah, the big thing with Will Johnson is really just that he missed so many games this year. Do we know what the injury was? Was it a knee or anything serious?
No, I think more it was towards the end of the year. He was just... this is just my speculation. knowing they were out of the playoff, knowing they stood zero chance to make the playoff, he was resting his body to get ready for the pros.
That makes sense.
Like that, and that's everything I think, because there was no reason for him to be out there if you're not even going to have a chance for the playoff. So yeah, that's what I think. That's my speculation. I think he'll be perfectly fine.
Now, the Panthers being on the clock, they let Brian Burns go last year, and it definitely hurt them a lot this year. Their offense definitely took a massive step forward after the benching of Bryce. And
Bryce,
him coming
Bryce
back.
looked so good whenever he came back.
So
Bryce looked so good.
I don't think that wide receiver is going to be a need for them. I don't think that's what they're going to do. They just took the running back last year, Jonathan Brooks, even though he tore his ACL again.
You don't
Chuba
think they
Hubbard.
could use another receiver though? With
I think that they could,
what's
but I
his
don't
name
think
on
that
his
it's
way out?
enough of a need. I think that it's smarter for them to, instead of just taking this big body guy whenever they already have another big body guy, like, or taking Luther Burden, who he doesn't have much of a route tree. I think it's smarter for them to work on their defense a little bit. Like, their defense was giving up. I mean, they put up 35 points in a lot of games this past year and still lost, or it went to overtime. So I think that having a little bit more of a pass rush, a player like Nick Scourton from Texas A&M, I think adds a lot more value to them than just grabbing the flashy wide receiver here at the top of the round.
Scourton. However it's pronounced. He from Texas A&M. If Abdul Carter wasn't in this draft, he would absolutely be edge number 1 for me. So I love that pick for the Panthers there at 8. I agree with you. I think they can come back in round 2 and take a wide receiver, even possibly trade up in the end of round 1 if somebody's dropping that they like. So I like that there. Austin, New Orleans on the clock at number 9.
Ain't no way Teta just fell to me for the Saints at 9. I mean, they need
they need wide receiver. They need wide receivers so bad.
Chris Olave has had way too many concussions.
And this is going to help Olave having a player like this, a big body to just draw attention to the other side of the field, is going to help him
a perfect fit for them.
I think so.
At McMillan, like that pick there for the Saints. Dude's a beast. All right, so I've got the Bears on the clock at number 10. Jalen Milroe. Let's go ahead and pull you up just because. No, I'm just playing. Caleb will give you another year. So, all right, so you've got Caleb, you've got DeAndre Swift, the wide receivers, Dunze, DJ Moore, Keenan Allen's still getting older, so I'm not looking at wide receiver here. I think for them, it's offensive line. But for me, I think it's still a little rich for guard. So I'm not going guard. I would look edge here. So a guy like Jalen Walker to me from Georgia would be kind of intriguing on this spot. For me, the Bears are a nice spot here because they could almost go any way they wanted and it would work out for them. Let me get them pulled up here. We're looking at some stuff. Okay. All right, so for me, I'm going to take a player that I like. I'm just going to go ahead. We're going to take Tyler Warren for the Bears at number 10. We're taking the tight end from Penn State, Cole Kmet. It just didn't really click too much with Caleb this last year. Cole Kmet. I mean, okay, that's cool. The organization don't care about that. Tyler Warren's an absolute beast. He just screams NFC North tight end. You get him up there with Laporta and Hawkinson. The Bears can see how effective those tight ends are for them. So, yeah, let me get Tyler Warren. Like I said, for them, it's kind of a luxury pick. I could have gone Josh Simmons at tackle, Kelvin Banks Jr. at tackle for him, just shore up that offensive line a little bit. Probably maybe should have leaned that way just with how little time that, Caleb did have. But I expect whoever comes in for the Bears, they try to patch that offensive line up real quick with some free agency moves. So I'm not too stressed about that at this point. That pick could definitely change for us down the road. Coach, San Fran at 11.
So offensive line is becoming an issue. Their star tackle is only getting older. He's missing more and more games every season and getting a little bit of an insurance policy right now. to make it to where whenever he does inevitably retire or move somewhere else, then you're still taken care of. Between Josh Simmons and Kelvin Banks Jr., I really like Kelvin Banks. The guy definitely has
Mhm.
the size. He also played all last season. Josh Simmons getting hurt after week
Mhm.
7 is a little bit, you don't want a guy that you're not going to have the full offseason with. I think that getting Kelvin Banks Jr., they're already close enough in like value in ADP. We're going to go with the guy that's healthy. He's ready right now. He's going to step in training camp and potentially take someone's spot.
I like it. I like it a lot. Austin, there's literally only one pick you can make in this spot for the Cowboys at 12. One pick and one pick only.
QBs. Jalen Milroe, Will Howard, maybe Riley Ledford.
One
I'm gonna
pick.
click it before he says it.
Yeah, I mean, if it actually happens and it actually falls to us like it should, this is the most beautiful pick ever. Like, I won't be mad at the Cowboys for not drafting a running back last year if we could just go ahead and get Ashton Genty.
I think
It
the only
will
other
literally-
team that would have taken before is the Bears, and I don't think the Bears are going to
Yeah,
take
that
a
was the
running
one I
back.
was
Now,
scared
and I
about.
just
I've
don't
seen a
know.
lot of mocks.
I just don't know though if Jerry would pull the trigger on a running back at 12 with Rico. Rico
Likes
did
to
look
get
solid.
people who bring the bag in.
Rico did look solid at the end, but yes, Ashton Gianti, adding him to that offense with CD.
Texas running back too.
I could have seen Luther Burden maybe being a pick there for him as well.
I'd be
I could have.
disappointed. I would understand it, but I'd
Yeah.
be a little disappointed if we passed up on Genty for a Luther Burden.
Yeah, agreed. If it was Tet, maybe, but not for Luther.
Yes,
Luther
for
just
Tet
has
or
enough
Travis,
questions
like-
for me that I don't see him as like this first half of the first round wide receiver guaranteed. Like the guy
He's
runs
definitely
5-yard
top
routes.
3.
And then he breaks open, but it's in college. Like, is he going to break all these tackles in the pros? Like, is he going to be an unstoppable force? And his biggest skill set, I don't know if it directly moves over into the NFL.
Well, not a lot of receivers were breaking tackles, after the catch like he was. So that's
Yeah.
why he's up here like he is.
So
All right,
Justin,
so
you get to
I end up with the Dolphins at number 13. All right, look at that. Just pin that away. If you pick first in this, you're gonna get to pick for the Dolphins. So
Really curious where y'all are gonna go because y'all are
Yeah,
kind of
see-
in a rebuild, huh?
Josh Simmons with the offensive line, I could look at that. But honestly, I'm looking at this too as how much longer is Tyreek Hill going to be in Miami? Is he going to get traded away? Is he going to work his way out? He might even retire in like his season. Okay, so we're looking at wide receiver. We need
piss off
wide
the
receiver.
whole group chat.
I think
We need wide receiver to go with Jalen Waddle. All right, let's pin that away. I watched our entire DB core get absolutely decimated through the air this past season. Just all of them. I don't know if Jalen Ramsey's going to stay. Kyle Fuller or Kendall Fuller coming over in the offseason, that was great, but dude played every now and then and decided he wanted to get hurt every now and then too. Javon Holland, he's up for a contract. We don't know if he's coming back. Even if he does, lot to be desired at the safety spot. So like a guy like Malachi Sparks, it would be a little high, but I could see that as well. I'm looking at everything here for the Miami Dolphins.
Sorry.
So what'd you say?
Trenches.
Oh yeah, trenches.
Let's
That's
fill
what
the
you're
trenches.
wanting. Yeah, that's what you're wanting to do. You're wanting to build the trenches. You're wanting somebody like Josh Simmons to come in or Armand Mimbu or however you want to pronounce that there from Missouri. Yeah, okay, I'm looking at those guys, but also if that's the case for me at this point with the way this draft has fallen, I'm trading back for one of those guys. I'm not taking them here at this spot. So with no trades in this spot and the Dolphins picking at number 13, I would have loved for Tet McMillan to somehow fall down here because, like, please God, give the Dolphins a big body wide receiver. Not going to take Luther Burden here because, you've got Jalen Waddle. I'm not going to take Emeka Ibuka because while I do think he's solid,
He's a slot guy.
I'm taking Benjamin Morrison, the cornerback from Notre Dame.
Cornerback.
Okay.
The corner from Notre Dame, he's got snaps played at slot, corner, in the box. He can play deep safety for you. He's got good grades across the board for run and coverage. I like his man coverage ability for him. He can play zone well.
Played a little bit of offense. 12 receptions on 27 targets.
Yeah, so just mix it up with the guy. That
I mean, he's definitely an athlete.
This is one where I'm just deflated as a Dolphins fan because it's like it really doesn't matter because so much more needs to be done. So like, okay, cool, but yeah, I feel good about Benjamin Morrison. Let's go ahead and give us a corner set up for at least the next 4 to 5 years.
I think that it would be ideal for the Colts if Tyler Warren was able to fall to him. I think it's a little bit rich to just jump on Colston Loveland as the second tight end off the board. He is going to be a massive playmaker for them and would absolutely help out their team. I think that their defense has been so bad, though. Malachi Stark still being there could be a massive value. Michael Williams, like just going Georgia guys. Probably, honestly, I guess Jalen Walker not so much. They already have. Wow, what did he change his name to? The middle linebacker.
Oh, Shaquille Leonard.
Shaquille Leonard,
Shaq.
I think he changed it to
Shaq.
No, that's what he's changed it to.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Never mind. Sorry.
So yeah, I think that another one would be Kenneth Grant. I'm gonna go with the highest rated guy right now. The one that honestly could have gone a little bit better. Malachi Starks had a great season last year. He really does have all the tools that you want from.
He plays the slot, in the box, deep safety. Like, dude is everywhere on the field.
Yeah, exactly. So they need a chess piece, and that's what they're going to get with a player like that. It's going to help them on all 3 levels.
Austin, Atlanta.
They definitely do need help in that DB situation. They were getting beat over the top so much this year. With
you think Atlanta takes Jalen Milroe right here?
They definitely need a QB. No, they don't. They'll be.
Why are you guys hating on?
No. I like
Dylan Gabriel so bad.
Oh, no! I told you I like Dylan, bro. Come on now.
I think Dylan Gabriel is a career backup.
Okay.
Ooh.
Like, I think he's solid, but I think he's a career backup. Solid, yes. But I don't think he's a guy that you're going to tie your ropes to for your franchise and say, lead us.
I think the Giants could definitely draft him and say, come on, bud.
Yeah, if the Giants weren't to go Shador in this draft and they went somebody else and then got him in like the 2nd or the 3rd, okay, cool.
Feel that. For the Falcons, I'd be looking at wide receiver with Luther there. I like that for them. Jalen Walker, linebacker, that for them a lot. That's a hometown kid for them.
They need, I will say, yeah, they need pass rush help like crazy.
He's like the best linebacker in the draft, so walking away with that, you got to be pretty happy. So I would go Jalen Walker.
Jalen Walker staying in Georgia, going to Atlanta, keeping the color scheme. I like it. All right, so we got a few picks left here in this. If you're still with us, we really appreciate you. Hit that subscribe button down below for all the fans and the family. 500 subscribers, lucky viewers getting a jersey of your choice. Go ahead and send it. Hit that nutty button up in the corner. Arizona on the clock at number 16. Don't have too many needs here as far as like major glaring needs. Like offensive line to me is probably the number 1 pick. So like Josh Simmons still being here on the board, that's where my immediate eyes are going. But then I also look at something along the lines of like Luther Burden still being here. And you just took Maserati Marv and you have Trey McBride to be able to get Luther Burden to add with that as well. That's pretty awesome there. But then I also look at, all right, who was Marvin's teammate in college? Emeka Ibuka. He's still on the board for you as well.
And he's a slot guy. They're both slot guys, but I mean, Emeka Ibuka definitely has a little bit more versatility. I think he does more for a quarterback than just give him the ball and watch him work.
This is a very off shot comparison, but do you guys remember for the Jets, Quincy and Nunwa?
The name sounds familiar,
receiver?
but no.
Oh man, come on, guys. All right, well, all my Jets fans in here. That's my comp for Emeka Ibuka is Quincy and Nunwa. And so that
Super familiar.
He's a big body guy. I do love his play style. I'm going with Josh Simmons here. We're just not even gonna we're not gonna drone it out. That was a bunch to just say we're still gonna just go offensive line. It's not sexy, but
That helps.
you got to protect Kyler. So go ahead, get the offensive line. All right, 2 more picks here for us. Austin, who you got with Cincinnati?
I'm going Cincinnati.
Oh, sorry, coach. Sorry, coach.
So I think Luther Burden makes a lot of sense. Between the two,
Especially if they move on from T. Higgins.
which is pretty much a done deal. Like the last 2 or 3 weeks of the season, all we were hearing is that T. Higgins is on his way out. He hasn't.
Yeah,
even really
but then on the
healthy
flip
for them.
side, you've got Joe Burrow openly saying in pressers, like, no, we're going to make sure we get him back. Like, so, like, do you really want to piss off your franchise quarterback? So,
I
like,
think he comes back to him. I think he's there.
I think Joe somehow restructures his contract in a way to allow them to pay T. Higgins to come back, even though still adding Luther Burden to that would be awesome. It's just that defense needs so much work. Like Joe had to put up 35 points a game and it still wasn't enough.
Yeah, that's a great point. I think adding a guy like Michael Williams, having a real edge rusher, 12 games played, 5 sacks, 15 hurries, 2 batted balls. Like he played in a massive conference as well. They have so much need at edge.
With what you just said about their defense, like, why is their needs wide receiver and guard and then D line? If anything, their best players on defense are their 2 D linemen. They're both their edge guys.
Yeah, I truly have no idea if PFF is going by like how their contracts are laid out and stuff like that. To me, I think every position on their defense is a need. Linebacker is okay.
Wilson's decent.
But like if Malachi Starks was here, I think Malachi Starks would be a great pick for them because they're missing Jesse Bates like crazy. Their defensive coordinator got fired for a reason. So yeah, I think Michael Williams or Kenneth Grant would have been a good pick here as well. Or even Shamar Stewart, just
over the defensive interior guy, just because he's going to have more. Like it's early in the first round.
You got to give Trey Hendrickson some help on the other side too. Like the guy was an absolute beast this year and had no help, nothing.
So yeah, Michael Williams. Final pick is going to be the Seattle Seahawks. What are we thinking, Austin?
What with Michael Williams?
Yep.
All right. Seahawks. Man, oh man.
Go Hawks. Seahawks to me.
The trenches, the real trenches.
Yeah, just the front 7, like offensive line and anything on the defensive front.
I can see him go Membu. Armin from Missouri. Or Kenneth Grant. Kenneth Grant is a solid pick for him. Oh man, this is hard. Jack Sawyer showed you that he should be drafted in the top 20 picks.
Jack Sawyer. Yeah, Jack Sawyer did probably make himself a good bit of money.
He kind of looking like a TJ Watt-esque, you know. I'd probably have to go Jack with this.
Going Jack Sawyer at 18.
Yeah.
I like that.
It's a spicy pick for him.
All right, so we ended up with for some reason I thought we had more Ohio State guys there, but all right.
We had quite a bit.
I like, again, everybody, if you're still here with us, we really appreciate you. Hit that subscribe button down below for all your friends and family. The early mock draft, a lot of these teams don't even have head coaches or GMs right now, so we have absolutely nobody has any idea. This is going to change a million times before we get to April. I like what we have here so far, especially at the top. I really feel like this is how the top of the draft will go without, any trade, stuff like that. We'll drop another mock draft, in a few weeks after some things have settled. Some coaches have been hired so we can understand some philosophies there. Vrabel, it got announced, so he's going to be the coach for New England. I feel like Will Campbell's probably a guy he'll end up taking there just because.
Filling trenches out. That's what Vrabel's going to do right away.
Yeah, and he loved Taylor Lewan when he had him in Tennessee, so he's going to try to get a stalwart tackle there. So, hey, Any parting words for the family out there, the pro potties?
You guys may have noticed that there's been some changes on a couple of fronts. The backgrounds have changed a little bit for some of us. We, haven't recorded anything since the great flood of 2023. So, 2024. Yep.
Yeah, 20. Wow, I was gonna say it's
Yeah,
it's
wow.
been that long. Jesus.
So, any support you guys have for us is great. We enjoy it. Thank you so much for joining in. You want to send them away, Austin?
Hey, peace and love, y'all. Peace and love.
Peace out. Catch you on the flip side. Bloop bloop.